Okay, um, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Priyanka, and I'm the product manager for connected lighting components at Signify. In next 10-15 minutes, I will walk you through our launched system to market, a wireless system that we call Master Connect, and also show a bit on how the system looks like and discuss the roadmap that we have intended for coming period. So maybe just to get started on the basic principles of the system, the wireless system that we have launched. It is simple, scalable, and standardized. And in next slides, we will see what each of these keywords entail, because I can imagine, and I can also say that many of the installations that we see in the market come back to the elements that we just see on the slide. I think what David started out in the beginning of this webinar was to spell out the trends, and I would like to tie them together here in this presentation, that the system that we have launched and are working towards to enable even further value actually focuses firstly on energy savings. The next value pillar is well-being through tunable white and circadian rhythm. And all in all, the idea still remains that we want to enable comfort lighting experience and or advanced lighting control with our luminaires. So these are the three underlying value pillars for the system that we have launched in the market. And you can also imagine that when we launch market, it's not just for office applications. Each of these value pillars are relevant for other application spaces like industry or retail, for instance. So it's a system that is scalable across different applications. And in the end, we enable value already today, but the idea is that the system remains future proof, so that you can keep adding value at a later point. And we will see how that actually is enabled through the system Master Connect. Firstly, yeah, the setting is a bit strange. Let me see if I can make it better. Yeah. So let me quickly introduce the system from a very high level and walk you through a couple of components that actually enable this intelligence or these value pillars. The first one is a sensor, SNS210, that goes inside every luminaire. And that means that it can have enable you to do energy savings simply with the occupancy and daylight sensing on board, but also it carries the intelligence to have tunable white. And if every luminaire is catered with such a sensor, the luminaire is quite smart, and you get a lot of value basically from every luminaire on board in every building. So that's basically what I call category 2. It's quite powerful with this sensor on board in every luminaire, and it can let you do a couple of use cases like automation of light, that lights just switch on when you enter a room. It can let you do energy savings, reporting of energy, or a bit more advanced towards well-being on tunable white. And that's actually quite a good start already for wireless connected lighting. Category 2 is a great start. However, I can imagine that many of the customers or end users could look for a bit advanced use case like scheduling or circadian rhythm or BuckNet support. And for this, our system with SNS210 can be upgraded to a gateway. So same set of lights, same luminaires carrying the same hardware components can be then upgraded to work with a gateway. And this is only made possible because we work with open interfaces and we have a standardized protocol approach which means that uh, all the interfaces and the technology that we are using in our components is actually powerful enough or capable enough to work with third-party products. And that way it opens up the ecosystem to let you do much more than basic plain vanilla use cases of light automation in category 2. So category 2 is simple, standalone, lets you do energy savings. However, with category 3, you are still looking to do advanced use cases. And that brings me, yeah, when we have category 2 and 3, there is also a much simpler and much more widely popular category, category 1, which is simple wireless dimming. And this is the simplest lighting use case that we see in the market to let you do simple on off or dim up, dim down using a manual switch. And for such a simple use case, what we have come up with is a range of wireless drivers. And on the right side, you see a few pictures of mini wireless driver or a linear wireless driver. But the idea remains that we want to enable wireless dimming for at a room level, not even at a luminaire level, but at a room level. We like to have a wireless dimming or scene control using a simple wireless switch. So all in all, if you see the whole market, what the complexity we see is keeps on increasing as we go higher up in the category. However, the impact actually is becoming smaller and smaller as we scale up. So category 1 is basically mass market, mainstream application, can be targeted to a wide range of applications or a simple set of applications where every room could become, let's say, smart, but all the way you can scale up to category 2 and category 3 to let you add more value. In the end, our basic strength lies that we believe that category 1 and 2, which is standalone systems without a gateway, are just good enough to get started. And with that, I mean that, let's say, if every luminaire contains a component which has the master connect capability, either a wireless driver or an SNS210, these components can be set up together to operate in a group, and you can set them up to basically work as desired or be more flexible in field to the desired configuration you like in field. You can set up the parameters in as you like, and they are just good enough to get started in a simple lighting application. So you could convert today the non-dimmable or just basic lighting to a wireless lighting setup for enabling simple use cases. And that's the power of standalone. You don't need extensive gateways or extensive knowledge to basically create wireless lighting system. One other element that we have in our wireless lighting system is to focus a lot on the setup speed or the ease of commissioning. And for that reason, we have devised torch-based commissioning, especially because all our components have Bluetooth radio. And if you have worked with Bluetooth devices, you would easily know that all the devices can just pop up in your app, let's say, when you start setting up all the Bluetooth lights. But if you have, let's say, 100 lights in a building, then it's very difficult to know which light is which one. And the way you hold your phone and how the radio of your phone sees the radios on each of these lights can determine how the lights show up in your app. So a torch basically lets you determine and point and trigger lights to basically be fast and efficient in your setting up of wireless lighting system. And that's an innovation that we have brought to market with Master Connect with SNS210. it runs very well. We have successfully installed quite a few projects already, and this is clearly a winning part that we get as a great feedback from installers on the speed of commissioning. Bringing me to the original tagline that we had spelled out on simple, scalable, and standardized, where I'd like to revisit the power of Master Connect and being simple is that we aim for simplicity in terms of ease of commissioning. I think we have run some experiments. You can set up a room in less than a minute. The installation costs are very low because everything is wireless. There is no wiring needed. There is no DALI rewiring or maintenance needed. There is hardly any need of gateway or getting permissions from IT. So building renovation or new buildings can just get on with lighting setup as quickly as possible as soon as the components are built in or designed into luminaires. So that's the beauty of Master Connect on simplicity. On scalability, the system can scale from, let's say, just a few nodes in a network, but it can scale up to 30 or 40 nodes in a group. But you can actually go on to adding many, many more groups. There is no limit on the number of groups you create in a standalone network. For going forward with big buildings, let's say. And already today, we have proven projects that have gone to very high scale with Master Connect. And also coming back on the scalability, if you remember one of the first slides where we showed the triangle, it's scalable from simple applications of wireless dimming all the way to gateway-based applications. And these can run across different value spaces. So you can use the same component in office, but a wireless driver for retail can actually let you enter into a shop lighting project. And industry follows the same set. So we want to create Master Connect as a platform that is scalable across all target spaces. And today we already have a good set of components for office applications. And the last value pillar is on open standards. We as Signify really go forward with open standards. And Paul had just explained on the SR driver now being D4I. Master Connect is the next thing that follows the same approach. And we have our components based on Zigbee 3.0 and BLE, all open standards, which lets basically work with third-party products and open up our ecosystem. So that's again our value pillar within Master Connect to go with open standard approach. Quickly looking at the roadmap, like I said, Master Connect is a platform, and we have different propositions that we target within Master Connect. Just to share, we have already released a basic energy savings use case in the market with SNS 210. Also, just this week, we have launched FlexTune or human-centric lighting proposition to market. And in next coming weeks, we are looking to extend the wireless driver or room control proposition with a couple of new features, and also adding an end user app for basically replacing need of manual switch. So you could have an app basically controlling your lights without having a wireless switch. Very much needed app in the business that we are today. And this is really something that would be very useful for smarter buildings, let's say. Going down the line in 2021, we have quite a big ambition. We are investing quite nicely into this program. And not only we want to enrich each of these propositions by adding many more new features, the idea is to also add a couple of more propositions. We will enable emergency or equipment testing, which reports out the battery status over a dashboard. One other proposition that we are hoping to get ready with is free floor standing, which is quite a popular use case, especially in DACH region, where there are free floor standing luminaires very commonly used. And the quite popular proposition is towards industry, where we want to enable Bluetooth sensor for high bay applications, all the way in the end leading to know and understand about finding value beyond illumination, and also work towards a bit on asset tracking and wayfinding. On this yellow side, you see there are apps, right? There's just one app today. We call it Master Connect app that lets you set up your lights and also configure the lights in the way you like. Going forward, we will have a new app, which is End User Control app. And to pull all of these propositions together in a good way, you need hardware components, which are here on the bottom side. And with each proposition, you can imagine there is a set of components and app update coming together to market. So basically, that's the base idea of Master Connect platform, which is quite extensive, following the principle to always be simple, scalable, and standardized. And we like to basically start with standalone approach, but of course we have a gateway ready upgrade path to let you have much more value in case needed in the market.